couple of months ago, I reviewed the 13.3-inch Samsung Galaxy Book Pro 360. I really liked it, but I felt the display was a little bit small, a little bit too dim, and highly reflective. Intel reached out to me to see if I wanted to give a look at the Samsung Galaxy Book Pro 360, the 15-inch model, and I quickly agreed because I wanted to see what this 15-inch ultra-portable laptop had to offer. It has a 1080p Super AMOLED display, and it's actually really good. I think it's a little bit better than the 13-inch. It's also running the 11th gen Tiger Lake processor with integrated Iris Xe graphics. We're going to take a look at it right now. Hey everybody, it's Andrew, and this is my review of the Samsung Galaxy Book Pro 360, the 15-inch model, here for 2021. Coming up. Now, in the interest of transparency and full disclosure, I'm not being paid by Samsung. I'm not being sponsored by Samsung. All the opinions you're about to hear are my own. Samsung is not getting copy approval. They're seeing this video for the first time, just like you. Now, this review unit was provided by Intel, not Samsung, and Intel is not getting copy approval either. They're seeing it as well for the first time. And once this review is over, I'll be sending this loaner back to Intel. Pricing for the 15.6-inch model starts at $1299.99 US, and if you are interested in that, I'll leave a link in the description below. Now, price as configured with my review unit, $1499, and I'm actually more partial to this 15.6-inch than the 13.3-inch that I've already reviewed. Now, for those that didn't check out my review of that 13-inch model, link will be in the description below. But I am more partial after reviewing this one to the 15.6-inch model. I like the bigger display with more screen real estate, and I think the thermals are better because the chassis has more room for it to dissipate the heat. We're going to get into that and more later on in this video. And with the specs and pricing out of the way, let's find out what you get inside the box. Let's open it up. Inside the box is a very compact 65-watt USB-C power adapter, and they also give you a 2.2 meter or 6.6 foot USB-C cable. You get some warranty information and a quick start guide. And they also give you the S Pen. That's a really nice addition. We're going to get into the S Pen later on in this video. And holding the unit for the first time, once again, I'm struck by how thin and light this is at 3.09 pounds or 1.4 kilograms. Definitely very portable for a 15-inch laptop. Easy to take with you on the go, and I love that. Okay, let's check out the ports. We're going to start off on the left side. We get one USB-C port and one USB-C Thunderbolt 4 port. These do data charge and display out. Moving over to the right side is a microSD card reader, another USB-C port, and a 3.5mm headset jack. Notably missing, there's no USB-A port. You'll have to use an adapter for that. Okay, let's talk about user upgradability, and in order to get inside this laptop, just pop off the 4 rubber feet. They're easily removed, and they do snap back in once you're done, so that's good. And once they're off, remove the 4 Phillips head screws, and then you'll have to pry off the bottom plate. Not that easy. You'll need to use a guitar pick and work your way around. Take your time. You don't want to break anything or bend anything. Now, the only thing you can upgrade yourself is the SSD, and here is the reads and writes that I got with the included 1 terabyte SSD drive. Now, unfortunately, the RAM is soldered into the motherboard. You won't be able to upgrade it yourself. Now, my review unit has 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM. This is Wi-Fi 6E ready along with Bluetooth 5.1, and both are working well. Now, unfortunately, that card is soldered into the motherboard. You won't be able to upgrade it down the road, but the good news is it is Wi-Fi 6E, and again, it is working well. Okay, let's talk about the display, and what we have here is a 15.6-inch Super AMOLED display with a resolution of 1920 by 1080. Yes, that means this has a full HD resolution as well as a 16:9 aspect ratio, which of course is optimized for viewing media. Watching Netflix, Amazon, and YouTube has been great on this, and it is also an HDR Dolby Vision display. That means you're going to really enjoy high dynamic range content in all its glory on this laptop. And with an AMOLED display, you're going to get those really deep blacks, the really vibrant colors, the high contrast, and you also get really color accurate display here with a very low Delta E score of 0.79, making this a great choice for those content creators that do Lightroom, Photoshop, and of course video editing. And it's also great because it covers the color gamut extremely well. You're looking at 100% sRGB, 99% Adobe RGB, 94% of the DCI P3 wide color gamut, and 94% NTSC. This all translates into a really good display for content creators, especially when you do things like color grading as well. And one of the biggest complaints I had about the 13-inch model was it just didn't get bright enough, and it was highly reflective as far as a glossy display is concerned. A lot of glare, a lot of reflections. You still get that here, but I found it a little bit brighter at 301 nits, and I didn't find it quite as annoying as the 13-inch, maybe because of the screen real estate. There's more to work with here on this display, and it just seemed a little bit brighter. So a lot more positive energy coming out of this display than it was the 13-inch, and I'm really liking it. And of course, the Super AMOLED display here is really excellent. I'm pretty sure they kept this at a dimmer level than they would normally do because they wanted to maximize battery life, and in that department they certainly succeeded. Now, this display has pen support. It's the S Pen that is included at no additional cost, which is a nice value add in my opinion. It's great for taking notes. It's great for sketching out artwork. It has 4,096 levels of pressure sensitivity and uses the Webcam EMR technology. That means you don't need any batteries or anything of the sort. It just works right out of the box, and it will continue to work, and no need to recharge or anything like that. And I found this pen to be very useful, especially if you do take notes and you do sketch out artwork. So this is the front-facing camera on the Samsung Galaxy Book Pro 360, 15-inch laptop here for 2021, a 720p, 30 frames per second webcam. Now, it's not a Windows Hello webcam. It's not infrared. That means you cannot log in with face recognition. There is, however, a fingerprint scanner that lets you log in with Windows Hello. Now, there is no physical shutter switch to turn off the webcam, but there is a key on the keyboard that allows you to do that, which is always great, especially if you're working from home. How does it look in terms for Zoom or your work from home needs? How is the audio quality for the internal mics? I am curious to know. Now, I'm really liking this keyboard despite the fact that it has pretty shallow key travel, but there's something pretty satisfying about that tactile feedback that you do get. Now, there is a multi-stage backlight on it that allows you to get work done in a dark room and a dimly lit environment. And I know you number crunchers out there are going to rejoice because this has a numeric keypad. There's also a precision touchpad that's actually pretty nicely sized, very responsive. Two-finger scrolling was buttery smooth, and all the gestures work as you'd expect. Good job on that front. And when it comes to the audio, this has AKG speakers. They're Dolby Atmos speakers, and I thought they were actually pretty good, although I think they could stand to be a little bit louder, but for a thin and light laptop, actually not too bad. Now, this has a 63 watt-hour battery, and it did 13 hours and 35 minutes on my continuous web surfing test over Wi-Fi at 150 nits, outlasting the Microsoft Surface Laptop 4, but not quite as good as the MacBook Pro 13 M1, which did over 16 hours. And it takes about an hour and 45 minutes to give you a full charge with the supplied 65-watt USB-C power adapter. Now, this is running the 11th Gen Tiger Lake processor from Intel. It's the Core i7-1165G7. It has integrated Iris Xe graphics, and I thought the performance was actually better with this 15.6-inch version than the 13.3. And I think that has to do with the chassis, with the thermals, with more room for the heat to dissipate. You're going to get better performance, less throttling. And as you can see from these benchmarks, the numbers are actually very good, actually better than the 13.3. Although that did well in its own right, this does a little bit better, and I love having the addition of extra screen real estate. Now, when it comes to gaming, as you can see, if you lower some of the settings on the more popular title, you will get playable frame rates, and that is, of course, to be expected. Now, if you want to add an external GPU, you do have that option with that Thunderbolt 4 port that this has. Now, when it comes to the thermals, I didn't notice it getting overly hot, and that's because you will notice the fans kick in under heavy load, and when it's plugged in, you'll definitely notice the fans will be almost like on a constant basis. You'll notice those fans are there. When it's unplugged, you'll notice it a lot less, a lot more quiet, but it never got overly hot to the point where you can't touch the bottom or any part of this laptop. So I think they did a good job in keeping it cool, although, again, the fan noise may be something you'll have to contend with. All right, let's bring it on home. What do I think about the Samsung Galaxy Book Pro 360 15-inch here for 2021? And I really do like it. In fact, I like it better than the 13-inch simply because you get more screen real estate, and I felt the display was a little bit brighter, one of my biggest complaints on the 13-inch. Now, having said that, it's still a highly reflective display, and you will notice some glare and reflections, but it is a Super AMOLED display that is really sharp, and you get those really deep blacks, the very vibrant colors, everything you'd want from a Super AMOLED display is there. Now, as far as the battery life, it's actually been really good. You're going to get all-day battery life, and I love the fact that the S Pen is included. Great for those who want to take notes, sketch out artwork. It's there, and it's great, and it works exactly as you'd expect. Now, the good audio from the speakers is a nice bonus as far as I'm concerned on such a thin and light chassis. And speaking of the design, I'm really loving that super thin and light design, easy to take with you on the go. The things I'm not so crazy about, there's no USB-A port. The display still could be brighter. It would have been nice to go over 400 nits, but I understand why they kept it dim. They wanted to maximize battery life. The RAM and the Wi-Fi are not user upgradable, but then again, super thin, super light. Wasn't expecting that. Now, for those that are sensitive to screen flickering or PWM, this does have that. If you do go below 50% in terms of the brightness, you will notice it. Keyboard a bit on the shallow side, but surprisingly satisfying with its tactile feedback, and that 720p webcam leaves much to be desired. And the fact of the matter is, it's not a Windows Hello webcam. But there are no real deal breakers here, ladies and gentlemen. I've really enjoyed my time with this laptop. I'm going to give this a score of 90%, making the Samsung Galaxy Book Pro 360 definitely worth your money. So what do you think about this bad boy, the 15-inch version of the Galaxy Book Pro 360? And as you can see, the S Pen sticks magnetically to the lid as it does on the 13-inch. Really nice mystic blue color, but of course it does show a lot of fingerprints. Really hard to keep clean, but when it is cleaned, it's absolutely gorgeous. I like this one over the 13-inch, and the reason being more screen real estate, a little bit over 3 pounds, so it's a very ultra portable 15-inch laptop. I really like the build quality with its all metal design, and I love the display. It's a Super AMOLED display that actually is a little bit brighter than I thought the 13-inch was. This measured 301. Of course, I'd like to see it above 400 nits or so, but of course, you're going to sacrifice battery life. Now, battery life was very good. You're going to get all-day battery life with this, so that's going to be great if you are a student or someone who needs all-day battery life to get through a whole school day or a whole work day. This will get the job done. Now, at a starting price of $12.99, I think this is not a bad deal considering the premium materials used, the Super AMOLED display, the ultra-thin portable chassis on this. This is a very, very premium device, but not as high of a premium in terms of the price tag as we've seen with some of its competition. But I'm curious to know what you think. Let me know in the comment section below. What do you think of the 15-inch version, especially when you compare it to something like the Surface Laptop 4? And I'm going to put them head-to-head in an upcoming video very soon. So you want to make sure you subscribe to my channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell. You don't want to miss any of my new videos. A lot of exciting stuff on the way. So please hit the like button. Please subscribe. Please share this video. Don't forget to leave a comment in that comment section below. Let me know how I'm doing. Let me know if there's a device or something out there you think I should review. I'll do my best to try to make that happen. Don't forget to check me out on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and of course, my website, amdtechreviews.com. So until next time, this is Andrew from AMD Tech. See ya.